now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.
Oh, I can't so just sit here and cry.
The year was 2001. The city, New York.
No. We're not doing that today.
Kentucky loses to Auburn 94-78. Fellas, how we feeling?
Kind of like a brisk morning in September back then, but it wasn't great by any means. Auburn's the real deal. We didn't get to watch or have to watch a good chunk of it because we got mercy ruled by the ABC truck. And yeah, on to the next one. And RIP to Jaxson Robinson as a Wildcat. Terrible day.
Yep, that wasn't a fun one. At least unlike Ohio State, this is a team is a really strong team. But just not fun to lose that way. Behind pretty well the whole game. The two bright spots, I guess, three bright spots. Brea had a good game, Carr had a good game, and Amari had a good game. But that's not a ton of positive to take away.
Yeah. The ABC truck going up in flames at the same time our season did is a little poetic. It's not even so much as the loss; it's the fact that they're shutting down Jaxson for the season, and I don't think we can win a title without Jaxson Robinson. So yeah, huge bummer. Because I mean, we see what this team looks like right now going up against Auburn, and you probably don't have to play Auburn again in the tournament. The odds of that seem low. Actually, all the bracketology has us in their bracket.
It won't happen, but yeah,
huge bummer.
Do you think that the reaction has been a little hyperbolic? I mean, like I said, it sucks to lose this way. I don't know why we were only 5-point dogs. That was crazy.
That is low. I thought we were going to lose like 25. Yeah, that's probably playing at Rupp made a big deal because we played pretty well at Rupp against pretty good teams.
Yeah, but man, I mean, Auburn's just really good. They're at full strength. They're rolling. They
really
rolled.
good is such an understatement. They have 20 quad 1 and 2 wins, I think. Like, they are so good. Like, the best team in college, and it's not close, in my opinion. They can play down to competition sometimes. When they play like that, they're not losing. Like, they were toying with Kentucky for the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of that game. It was like they were playing against kids, picking the ball 94 feet away, laying it up, feeling lazy. It's crazy how much. Yeah, go ahead.
It felt that way, but at that point, it was a 6-point game. It was a 6-point game until roughly CBM fouled Lamont and got to shoot 2 free throws on that weird flagrant call until Carr blew by. I think it was Kelly, may also have been CBM, and didn't touch him at all and got 3 calls. Not that refs played any role in this outcome at all. But up until that point, we had it pretty tight. We had Broom at no points, certainly no field goals for a long time. I mean,
I'd argue that that's almost worse, that they didn't have any points from him, and I mean, you can only score so many points so quickly. Like in the beginning of that game, like that was not even like that wasn't a close game at any point, dude. Like that was 2 very different level basketball teams at times. Like that was not close. And there's no 20-pointer to start off a game, but it felt like they hit one. I mean, even if it was 6, I didn't feel like we were coming back in that game. We couldn't get the ball across half court half the time.
Turnovers were ugly, as was Miles Kelly's 9 for 14 from 3. That was, and some of them were even tough shots. Banked 2 in, had a couple hand in his face, and it's like when a guy's having a day like that, you just gotta tip your cap.
Like hit him or something. Do something. Like try. I don't know.
Lamont
Try something else.
Lamont tried. He hit him.
He hit him harder.
That was one of the craziest calls I've ever seen. I don't know how you messed that up so poorly on review, but that definitely seemed like a big swing because we went from keeping it to within striking distance to we were just cooked after that, and then the way we started the second half was I mean, just turnovers just absolutely killed us. And then, when they're hitting that many threes, you're just not going to win games playing like that.
What, we only had 4 threes ourselves, right? 1 in the first half.
The most shocking stat to me, and maybe that's because I didn't get to see hardly any of the second half, is that we only lost the second half by 1. I mean, 45 for Auburn, 44 for us. But just that last 7 minutes of the first half were brutal. No field goals scored, bunch of threes for Auburn. That's, I think, really where they separated.
It went fast too. You're right, because it was fairly. I mean, but that's how they can just do that. Like, it's crazy how. I don't know. I just feel like we didn't have any answers, especially not like healthy, fully. We have our team that played Duke in November. I think we compete better, obviously, but it's just not gonna. It's just. Oh man, the Jaxson thing's got me messed up. I don't really know how to, because I feel like I could spin a lot of things to be pretty positive come SEC tournament, NCAA tournament time for like some real big goals. Jaxson is just. I mean, I'm admittedly pretty biased with Jax, but that feels really tough to overcome. To have. I mean, I feel like that changes things significantly.
I think you got to make Kobe Brea a centerpiece of the offense now, where you're just going to have to manufacture shots from him.
I mean, you kind of did tonight, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, how many do you have? You have 11 shots. I mean, yeah, but I see what you're saying. It's just, but it's tough because Brea does not have the dribbling breakdown ability, or just like the pull up on a fast break. We talked about it last time, like how Jackson's fast break pull up threes are just like I kind of like the FU threes sometimes when he pulls up from deep and just in spot like to
Love
get it going. No, it's my favorite shot, and
I don't know why that's not a part or can't be a part of Brea's game. I mean, we know he can hit him off the
Handles.
dribble. He does that all the time. I think he handles it pretty well. He just in general hits threes at a pretty high rate. I'd like to see him start doing that. Certainly a couple times today. There was an opportunity. I don't know that this is the game that you start trying to do that. But man, that'd be a big help.
Gotta get Alman. What's the deal with Ansley? How are you only playing like 2 minutes in the last 2 games? I know it's poor matchups, but like we could try to let him hit a corner 3 or 2. I mean, what do you got to lose? I guess only Brea hit a 3 today. I don't know.
That is
it's just
crazy.
Oh no, yeah, I just noticed that. That is.
I mean, it's
truly disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the team went 0 for 13, and only one of those is Ansley. I don't know. He's one of our better, or was one of our better 3-point shooters. I think our best corner shooter.
No doubt.
Man, that's a real bleak outlook with and Lamont's obviously not like Lamont right now. He might get there, but I mean, you saw in that 3, he's still thinking about it a little bit. Legs are a little short, he'll be all right. But man,
I still think that Amari continues to play well.
Mhm.
Really like what I'm seeing from him.
Yeah, well, and he even looked good in direct comparison to Broom for a big portion of the game, which was impressive. I didn't expect that from him. I mean, he of course he's been playing well. We know he's a really talented guy who's thriving in the system, but I kind of thought he'd be a little overmatched, and he held his own pretty well. Drew a ton of fouls, ended up 13, 14, and 7.
Man, how are we only going to get 9 points from Ansley, Perry, Garrison, Trent, and Otega?
Five bench points and 4 from Otega was tough. That hurts quite a bit.
Well,
That
that
does a lot to neutralize the bright points of Carr, 7 for 11 from the field, 6 of 8 from the line, 20 points, Brea 21, and Amari's big game. And even Butler had 15 points. He wasn't efficient, 4 for 13, but
I mean, 69 of the points came from those 5, though. So I mean, like,
right. It's just really, really tough when you end up not getting a ton of help from your bench.
If you turn over the ball 25% of the time, well, 24.7, you're also going to lose.
Yeah, also rough.
I think that Travis Perry will end up being a good player at Kentucky. I don't think he belonged on the court tonight.
Not with that Auburn team, no.
Yeah, but what do you do?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just a scheduling like a nightmare. Like it's literally, you can't do anything else. What do you do? I play the walk on.
People have been so critical of Pope's lineups and his substitution patterns, and I'm not saying that there isn't room to be critical there. I definitely think that his explanation of trying to keep guys all at their maximum makes sense. That's one of the only explanations that does when you're
What's
when you're
the
rolling and you take
moves
a
that have
guy
been
out.
criticism? Okay, that's the criticism. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, right. You sort of kill momentum. But I think it's justifiable if you think that, hey, a loss of momentum here is better than totally running a guy into the ground and losing him essentially for good from, like the second TV timeout, the second half on. I can see that. He has these numbers. He gets them in practice. The players all wear these heart rate and effort monitors. I mean, I'm sure they're monitoring that, and he's just not willy nilly saying, "Hey, it's BG time." But also, he's so limited in what he can do from a lineup perspective when you're down Kerr for the season, and now Jaxson for this season, and Lamont's been injured, and Carr's been injured, and people say all of Chandler and Noah and Perry are unplayable, and Almanor can't defend, and Brea can't defend, and I mean, okay, cool. We're gonna play Alabama 3-on-5 every game if people had their way with who's able to play.
Well, we're playing. We got these old transfers in with their old brittle bones. The bodies are beat down now.
Such a shame. That's the risk of like the like the 1 year like. Yes,
Yeah.
this is such a good team when healthy, man. We saw it ourselves in person. I mean, they're legitimately contenders
Yeah,
when they're
but
healthy.
when you're
I
getting
mean, it's
paid
basketball.
NIL money
Yeah.
from AARP, you got to think that these these injuries could be coming. I love our transfers. I'm kidding. I'm working my way through it.
I get it. You get the mate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I woke up this morning thinking we were beating Auburn.
I know
And
you
then that
convinced me of
happened.
that when I told you we were losing by 30, and you had me ready to go. Like because Rupp was magic, and I believed you, and you're usually right. So
I'm a victim.
I know you were bamboozled like the rest of us, just like Utah State thinking they had a basketball team today. They don't. They're down 26. What makes it
And
29?
another place we struggled, obviously, the 18 turnovers was bad.
Yeah.
Six in a row. I think it was only 6 in a row. I don't know. At some point, brutal stretch. We forced 8 turnovers on which we got 9 points. That's tough. You need to convert those at a higher rate than that, especially against a team like Auburn that is really good, both offensively and defensively. A turnover is really only good if it stops them from scoring or helps you score. And when you turn the ball back over to them, that really kills some momentum there.
It sucks. It's the Jaxson thing. It's not even the
No,
loss.
I expected us to lose today. It's Jackson's out for the year that I'm like just trying to wrap my head around. It feels like the season kind of took a different turn, a big detour.
Well, we're gonna need Otega Owe from last game to show up a lot more. And 4 points tonight wasn't doing it, and he's just getting silly fouls. And it really seems that this team might go the way that Otega Owe goes. Amari Williams, I would say he's like the key to the team, but I don't know if he's putting up the scoring output to necessarily lead us to victory.
Yeah.
I think we need a very particular version of Otega Owe from last game. We need Otega down the stretch trying to win, not Otega who thinks he's down the stretch trying to win. He can to some extent go for some hero ball, take some bonkers shots that aren't great. I know I complain about the long twos. A lot of them are long twos, but also sometimes you've got Brea open in the corner you could maybe hit. And I think him being able to drive and finish through contact and get some points that way really opens up a lot of the rest of the game. But when he picks up essentially 4 quick fouls is hardly a factor. I mean, it's not like he missed a bunch today. He had 3 attempts.
I mean, this game pretty much played out the same way for him as the Alabama game did, where he's kind of putting himself out of the game. Do you think that all of our opponents would be willing to wear Oklahoma jerseys while we play them? I think it would really help us out.
Only if we can also put a little sign on the clock to make it look like there's only 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
I mean, that I think is the thing. In that game, it was down the stretch. He absolutely took over. He ended up with a monster stat line, but it almost all came in the last 9 minutes against Oklahoma. somebody said unplayable. Like near halftime, he was struggling early on. It was we need that late second half of Tego.
Well, this season just got a whole lot harder.
Oh, God. So Kerr's official for the season 2, right? Because he's going to get the medical, probably. Is that the word?
I don't think he's official, but yeah, I think he's. I assume he's done.
Well, damn it. Okay, that sucks. Shit, get well soon, Jaxson. That blows, dude.
I think the
playing
That really
reporting
does.
said May or June.
Hopefully in time to get some work in before the draft, get a career ahead of him. But that's terrible. I really wanted to see him in the tournament one more time
He's playing his
and
best
not
ball.
wearing BYU, gear. That would have been really nice.
So that's what sucks is it seemed like he finally started to really hit his stride, and then the injury happens. It's a bummer.
He did break through. He had that breakthrough and just started playing really good ball and was comfortable, it seemed like, and then dang it, dude.
Yeah, I forget what the stretch was. There was some graphic they put up today that was over his last however many games. He was nearly 50% from 3. So yeah, I feel like he started to figure out defense about the time the team started playing defense better. So did he, quite a bit. And he's so long. Like we don't have anyone else shaped like him, really. When we were sort of struggling on height anyway, in some
Whatever
respects,
you're into,
outside
man.
of
Whatever you're into.
What you
he's talking about Jackson's shape.
love Jackson's shape.
Yeah, good looking guy. Yeah.
Nah, super. One thing though that we one positive note is this team can and will play much lesser competition in the NCAA tournament. For God's sakes, that SEC gauntlet is almost over. Thank goodness. I mean, you still have beaten shorthanded. Okay, beaten Tennessee's of the world. I know we have matchups, styles make fights, but there's still a lot that's to be played for. There still have a lot to. It just is, man. Jackson's my favorite cat. I mean, he's a good dude. I feel terrible for him. So that really sucks. There's still a lot they can play for. I'm sure he'll still be right there, part of it. That's just terrible news.
It's rough because now thinking big picture in the NCAA tournament. Now with the way the team's looking, we're going to need the bracket to kind of break our way.
That's the beauty of the one-loss tournament.
Yeah,
maybe it will.
Where I'm not as confident in us just running a gauntlet as I would have been if we were healthy.
Man,
right.
Well, you never know. I mean,
it really is turning into a what if though, and that's a real bummer.
Yeah.
One thing I think is maybe worth noting is that we it's not a secret we struggled with defense for a big portion of this year, but if you filter down to just since after the Ole Miss game, so from February 5th onward, even after this game, we're a top 25 defense. So the team has been playing better defense. People don't feel that way because we've struggled. And admittedly, if I'm gonna filter out the defense we're not happy with, we have to be honest about the fact that I'm also filtering out some of the offense we are happy with.
Yes and no, but the whole point of filtering from that Ole Miss game is it was an absolute dumpster fire. Pope broke his hand or a bunch of furniture because of the lack of effort. That's why they picked it. It's not arbitrary. It's because they were they were terrible before that. And honestly, they've been much better though. I don't think it's cherry picking that much. I really think they've been better against really good competition too. It's not like they played the bottom of the SEC. You've had Alabama and Auburn in there at least. I don't remember who else has been in there, but at the very least, that's enough to say that it's probably a legitimate statistic. We've been top 25 defensively. Offensively, we're not going to be as good. I mean, look who's not playing and who's hurt and things like that. But I think defense is such an effort. Just side of the ball. A lot of it is effort, and I think that they're giving a great effort since that Ole Miss first half. At least in my opinion.
Even today, Auburn had 94, but they were taking a lot of shots where I'm like, I don't like that shot. I mean, it kept going in, but they were taking contested shots. They just happened to go in. I don't know what else you could ask for than getting a hand up there. But yeah, this is a tough one.
What's the next one? Is it LSU next? Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Is that a must win, or is it kind of just to get just try to figure some lineups out? Like, how do you what do you guys see? What do you do going?
It's a must not lose.
It's okay.
Yeah, in my mind, it's a quad 3 game. It's kind of a
Oh,
must win.
if it is a quad, I didn't realize it was that low. Quad 3 is
And
crazy in the
it's
SEC. That might as well be like an
right,
NAIA
right.
team.
And I mean, it's not like our seeding may fall a line if we lose it.
I mean, you're still top 14 in
But
the net, right? Like, geez.
yeah. So must win, I think, is relative. In my
It is
mind, it's a
senior
must
day.
win only because I'm already angry enough we have a quad 2 loss. I certainly don't want a quad 3.
It's a loss.
So what you guys think? We beat LSU and then probably lose at Missouri?
Get blitzed at Missouri, probably.
Probably.
That was your. I mean, you put me on game with how crazy their home court is and how nuts
I've
they
stayed
do.
on that.
Yeah, you have. And LSU being at home senior day, we got to win that. That is a must win. I'm putting it on it. You got to win that one. You can't lose the
Yeah.
last game at Rupp on the year to LSU in a quad 3 fashion after the just last 2 of the last 3 games. You know,
So
I mean,
yeah,
you're
we're gonna
really
lose
a
at
point away
Missouri.
from being. Yeah,
We're gonna lose at Missouri. I'm not gonna feel any worse about the team if
No.
we lose that one because everybody's just getting killed at Missouri. So
But it
Yeah,
would be
but
the one
I-
they'd win, right? Like all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, they just go and win that game just because
Yeah.
that's been the season.
I mean, yeah, wouldn't this season make sense if we lost LSU and then beat Missouri at Missouri?
God, I hate
Well,
how
one
that
of the-
sandwiches, though.
One of the things I think is kind of frustrating is that people should have said that about today. I'm not going to feel any worse about the team if we lose to Auburn. But then you
Yeah.
lose and it feels like a dragging and you do feel worse.
I feel fine.
It's Jaxson being out that really. I never look at the general consensus reaction to Kentucky losses. I'll just be honest with you. Like I try, like I just don't get on Twitter for like a day and a half, because it's outrageous and I don't have the strength or time or like patience to. No, losing to Auburn, whatever. Who cares? It's other games that I don't understand why. Like if we lose to LSU, I can see being frustrated by that. But
Yeah.
it's
So
Auburn. Everybody loses to Auburn.
For what it's worth, Torvik has us as a 13-point favorite against LSU and a 7.5-point dog at Missouri.
Makes sense. It seems like a big dog, but probably not. That sounds about right for playing at Missouri. All right. You guys want to talk about anything else? Do we pivot the podcast to not Kentucky sports and to something else?
Like theatrical makeup and get ready with me videos.
That'd be cool.
I don't know, man. I hate it like today when basketball just sucks. Everybody we'd have been did Arkansas lose? We wouldn't even have had a perfect day reverse parlay. God dang it.
Yeah.
Because BYU is gonna wax West Virginia. Yes, I'm trying to jinx that game, but they're going to with the way that Colorado State just shot 80% from 3 in the first half. Why do I bother? Why do they even make it if you can't win? Why do I watch sports? I don't know. I'm gonna go crash out, you guys.
All right, fellas. Thanks for hanging out. What stinks about that Kentucky loses is that in previous seasons, Kentucky would lose or they would be losing like they were today. And then I would just turn it off and just go on about my life. But we, the geniuses that we are, started a podcast in which we are forced to watch this full thing and then have to get on and talk about it. And that's tough. But I
didn't watch the full thing. I do, yeah. Likewise, it's more that I didn't watch it because the ABC truck was lit on fire, which is weird that Caleb's not here. I don't know if those two have anything in common, but see you soon, King. But yeah,
You're my man.
If
sometimes
you are watching
it does.
this,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you're watching this as part of the investigation of Caleb, he was here the whole time, hanging out with me.
Technical
At
difficulties.
my
We have a
apartment,
screenshot.
nowhere near that truck.
Yeah, no.
That's Caleb going full Connor Stallions for the program. I feel like this is personally embarrassing.
The
to us.
Catechins Connor Stallions, Caleb. It would be him. That's perfect.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the Catekin. For Ben, for Braden, I'm Jared, and go Cats.
Go Cats.
Thought I'd throw you there with the clown makeup.
You did.
It was good. It was
For
good.
like an hour. I looked at it while we waited. Yeah.